Domestic violence advocates are speaking out tonight about our News 5 investigative documentary, The System, a call for help.
And in that 23-minute report, we followed Melissa Loomis's case from the initial assault that we came upon in 2017 to the attacker, Michael Hartman, not showing up in court. Hartman making threats to the sentencing a year after the incident. 5 Year Side investigator Jonathan Walsh was there for it all.
Yeah, Jonathan, victim advocates are calling this a powerful report.
Yeah, and they tell us that what we capture, as a matter of fact, is exactly what they see all the time. Problems in the system where victims are suffering.
It makes me angry that we see so much of this happening in our communities.
Melissa Graves is the CEO of the nonprofit Domestic Violence and Child Advocacy Center. Every year, it helps 20,000 men, women, and children who are victims in Cuyahoga County.
So many of the themes that were highlighted in your story, our folks are seeing every day with the cases they work with.
In our report, we showed the attacker, Michael Hartman, threatening to kill his ex-girlfriend, Melissa Loomis, via phone calls and text messages, all while there were warrants out for his arrest.
How is a victim of domestic violence supposed to stay safe during those 3 months? That's a really big challenge.
And you see a lot of that?
Yeah.
Like constantly?
Yeah.
How dangerous is that time between 0 and 3 months?
That's a very dangerous. Well, it's very dangerous. You saw he sent her text.
Victoria Grant, who also works with the center, agrees. She knows resources to follow up on warrants are thin, but when abusers are on the loose, that's a troubling time for victims, just like Melissa Loomis.
How to be able to provide the capacity to go and serve these warrants.
That's a big problem, huh?
Absolutely.
They say another crack in the system, plea deals that lessen the charge against the attackers.
We need to figure out how to do better to get domestic violence charges on the record so that we see that record of violence.
That's important because if that abuser commits another domestic violence crime, the judge can impose a harsher sentence based on the previous convictions.
Victims are frustrated with the plea.
Victoria says there also needs to be more help for dispatchers. In our documentary, we showed one dispatcher saying they couldn't pick up Hartman unless Melissa Loomis wanted to press charges. That is not true.
And that's why we try to do education and training with dispatchers and law enforcement officers so that they can know exactly what the laws are.
And these experts tell us when it comes to the system, we're really talking about human beings, what they're doing right and what needs significant improvement.
Attitudes and the belief systems of the people also need to change in order for those systemic changes to happen.
And another area that Victoria pointed out to us, News 5 tracked down a witness to the assault on Melissa Loomis. We talked to her, and police did not. Victoria says they should have absolutely reached out to that witness. And one last thing, guys. The advocates told us that if we can't be honest about our community's shortcomings, shortfalls in helping the victims, we're failing.
Right. Change can't happen if you don't accept that there needs to be one.
Admitting the problem.
The system is the people.
Yeah, right. And that was a good point.
Yeah.
That was a very good point.
All right. I know we're going to stay on this. Looking forward to what else you come up with.
Yeah, it's coming up.